Prague is the capital of the Czech Republic, a Central Eastern European country, and is home to one of the oldest Jewish communities in all of Europe. Jews probably arrived in Prague during the late Roman times, but the first definite evidence of the existence of a strong Jewish community in Prague is from 970 CE. At the time that this photo was taken, about 54% of the Jews of Prague declared themselves as Czech, rather than Jewish. This Jewish family, that of Vilma and Dr. Kurt Grunwald, as well as many others, did not practice Judaism, and identified themselves both ethnically and culturally as Czech. In July 1942, the family was deported to the infamous ghetto and concentration camp Theresienstadt, and was soon deported again to Auschwitz. The youngest child, Misa, was eventually liberated from the camp, and he later returned to Prague and was reunited with his father, who also had been able to return there. Misa and his father were the sole survivors of their family. Here you see a photo of me with my immediate family and much of my extended family as we celebrate a Jewish simcha, the bar mitzvah of my cousin, Jordan Simkovic. There are numerous similarities between my life and those of the people in the original photo. However, there are also many differences. One similarity is that both in pre-war Prague and in modern-day New York, both families had the ability to celebrate Jewish milestones publicly. Another connection is that both the Grunwald and Hirschfeld families have the tradition of spending their smachot with their extended family. In Prague, Jewish organizations existed at least as far back as 1869, when the organization called the Advancement of Jewish Studies was founded. Zionist organizations were also well represented, especially since 3 of the 4 Jewish weeklies in Prague were Zionistic. One of these new clubs that was established was the Jewish sports club called Hagibor. The boys in this photo are the members of this club's ice hockey team from 1925 until 1930. Oda Margolius, the leader of this team, was a great athlete and served in the Czech army for a year and a half. Oda met his wife, Katerina Spitzer, through Hagibor. Katerina's brother, Joseph, moved to Chile before the war. Oda could have done as well, but being a Czech patriot did not want to abandon his country. On August 8, 1942, Oda and his wife were deported to the Theresienstadt concentration camp. Soon after, their parents and siblings were sent to Auschwitz, where they perished. Oda and Katerina were also later put on a transport to Auschwitz, and on the way, Oda and 19 other young men were pulled from that train and forced to bury the remains of prisoners who had been killed earlier and destroy any evidence of such activities. Upon completion of their work, these 20 men, including Oda, were all massacred. Later, Katerina and her daughter, Inez, were moved to Buchenwald, and then back to Theresienstadt, where they were then liberated by the Red Army. The children in this photo are the members of the Ramaz Middle School hockey team. This photo was taken on the conclusion of our season. Like Oda and his team, we enjoy participating in several sports. Also, akin to the way that Oda joined the army and served his country, several boys on this team want to serve in the Israeli Defense Forces when they get older. In this photo, a Jewish teenage girl, Margit Morowitz, is walking her dog in the streets of Prague. Following the Munich conference, Margit's mom, Lily, decided to emigrate with Margit to France. But Lily returned to Prague to sell her house, and when she came back to France before she could join Margit, she was sent to Gurs, a detention camp in southern or Vichy, France. Eventually, Lily was released from Gurs and she and Margit were reunited. In this photo, I, a Jewish teenage boy, am walking my dog Gingy on the streets of New York City. My life seems similar to that of Margit Morowitz. It is apparent that at the time of this photo, in pre-war Prague, Margit had the ability to roam the streets of Prague without worrying about the fact that she was Jewish, just as I do in New York City. Also, Margit and I are similar in that we both enjoy time with our pets and walking our dogs. From my examination of these photos, I learned and found much evidence suggesting that life was normal or ordinary for the Jews in Prague prior to German occupation. It was likely similar in many ways to the lives of Jews today, specifically how we are able to lead ordinary lives without glaring daily reminders of anti-Semitism.